that's in this name.
I just
Okay.
create the trust in that.
I'm sending the coupon of the account summary to Santander Consumer USA as a payment for what is owed. I recently learned that a coupon is a way of paying according to UCC 3-104. So I'm sending the payment coupon to be accepted as a payment. Per UCC 3603, if tender of payment of an obligation to pay an instrument is made to a person entitled to enforce the instrument and the tender is refused, there is discharge. Really?
Absolutely, by law.
Wow.
So you just gotta send it.
To the extent of the amount of the tender, of the obligation of an endorser or accommodation party having a right of recourse with respect to the obligation to which the tender relates. If you reject the payment coupon or claim to have shred it, I still expect you to follow law and discharge the debt. Here are some definitions to clarify what I'm talking about, just to reference state statutes if you need a refresher. A billing statement and then definition. You want me to read all this?
No, you don't have
Okay, payment document, coupon, coupon bonds, bond bearer, instrument, voucher. These instruments are worth their face value, so the amount to be discharged will be the amount I have written on the voucher. Please transfer the positive, what's the positive value? Is that the amount?
to. Yes.
Okay, please transfer the positive value of this bearer security to the principal to set up the account and bring it down to zero. If you have an excuse for not performing as requested, please mail your particular statement to me at the address above. Your specific performance or statement is expected no later than 10 days from the date of this letter postmark. Thank you so much.
See how
Sincerely,
simple?
without ill will.
So
Yep.
are you
See how
basically
simple
saying
is
that
that?
when we get those payment coupons from a creditor, we just put that amount in and send it back because that's technically a form of payment?
Yeah, but
And
you
we
have
don't
to.
have
It
to
is-
put in our money.
It is
No.
the original payment.
You
So
ha-
we could pretty much put it in the amount they're telling us that we owe our loan, and they have to apply it just simply by sending the
Yeah.
payment coupon back
But you
in.
do have, like she said, you
But
have,
you have
to
to have
fill
the
it
right
out
letter.
perfectly.
Right,
It's
your
It
the
has to be
language.
perfect.
And
their
it's-
language.
Yeah.
And you have to be in honor.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to still be
But
paying
that's
your bill,
that's
like she
just
said.
the first letter. So of course they're not gonna respond. So that's the second.
Okay.
This
So
is
did
the
you?
third.
Yeah, always
and you're basically
threes.
saying the
And
same
then
thing.
default.
And this is wait, what is that? No, that's the third. Oh no, this is the fourth.
Okay, then you default.
Yep.
And then you
Oh.
win.
And then once you default, you're done. If you default it properly, it's a done deal.
Yep. We the default girls.
You
Half
did
is
this
paid.
with Bianca.
Yes.
Well, we are doing the Discover credit card right now, 20,000 to discharge. The fee schedule brought it up to almost 200,000, 198,000. We submitted the case into court. The lawyers pushed us into federal court. So when they pushed us into federal court, they motioned to dismiss our complaint for failure to state a claim upon which relief can be granted because Bianca created the complaint and I didn't read the complaint before she filed it, and you have one chance to state your claim, and if you state it wrong, it gives grounds for the other player to dismiss it because it wasn't presented properly.
And what was wrong with it?
Well, Bianca, it should have been just a cause of action for tender of payment to force the discharge and a sum set to receive the fee schedule, the fees from the fee schedule. So we would have only had 2 charges to bring in the money and get the discharge. But she hit them with 7 charges, and she hit them with fraud, fiduciary fraud, all kinds of
And when they started
fraudulent.
looking at it, then they
She
have
went
to address
overboard
each of
for
the-
what she needed.
Well, fraud, whenever you claim any type of fraud in court, it goes under
investigation.
not investigation but specifics. So it's an extra you gotta go over and beyond to prove the fraud. And,
Oh gosh.
and fraud is really hard to claim, to hit. So she had like 5 frauds, and it just was a shit
too
show.
much. It was too much.
It had so much fukas in
Doesn't
it.
it change the filing in a sense, or
Well,
like
they
adds
moved-
another?
So why
whole
didn't
nother
you
ball?
just do this?
Well, that was done, but they didn't call to settle.
Oh, so
The
they
other
have
one
to.
called to settle because they knew we had them by the balls. This one, we're going up against Discover. They have a lot
They
of
have,
money.
oh yeah, and they have a lot of
lawyers.
legal
Yeah,
team.
working
They have a
on
legal
their
team.
side. Yeah. So,
Oh, so
they're gonna
sometimes
fight.
it's good to go with the smaller banks then. Does
To
it
be
matter?
quite honest, they can't get around the law. You read it. Even if they deny it, it's considered a discharge. So no matter how they look at it, it's by right. That's why they cannot deny it.
Yeah.
But we have to present it properly. If we don't present it properly, they can, get it kicked out. And that's what they tried to move on us. They motioned to dismiss, so we had to scramble and create a motion to stop that motion, and then also put in an amendment to the complaint so that there's no pukas in it that they can punch holes in. And, if we didn't change the complaint, they would have won off the motion to dismiss for failing to state a claim. So we amended the complaint to tighten it up. We motioned to dismiss their motion, and in that defense, we put in accord and satisfaction. Have you guys heard of that?
Yes, yeah, Avery talks about that.
Accord and satisfaction is a cause of action in a court of law that talks about an original contract that is altered in some way or form, that an agreement is provided at the end of that alteration of the original through a tacit or implied agreement.
Right, so you send that notice to like the CEO of the bank or something. You have to give them notice that you're gonna do an accord and satisfaction. And then do the process.
What we did with the coupon is the accord and satisfaction. We presented them with another form of payment through the process. They agreed with us through implied agreement because they failed to answer, which leads us through acquiescence of the question, which gives us that tacit agreement.
See, when you perfect all of this, then that's what you can
Yeah.
do for people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm allowing Bianca to do the complaint form. If I did it, it should have been open and shut case. But I was still deciding if I wanted to work with her or not. But I stayed with her with the process because it's helping
learning.
me too. Yeah,
It's
it's all
learning.
about learning. I don't even give a shit about the money. It's all about learning.
I know, but once you can learn and then you can do it, like I want to help my mom. My
Right.
mom's still working. I'm like, I want to discharge her debt.
Well, Ryan, who we're working with, is working on us all getting to our bonds and our treasury stuff. And he's already said, if I'm done first, I'm giving everybody money so they can help stop the bleeding right now. I mean, that's the whole point of working together, because we all have so much flippin' credit coming to us.
Yeah.
And once we get the credit, we can all help each other while the others are getting their stuff together to get it all corrected. Right? So that's what love is. That's really
But we
paying
use
it
the accord of
forward.
satisfaction as because it's an affirmative defense. So there's no defense to that. It's an affirmative defense.
It's
So,
going
yeah,
in
you know
winning,
all the
right?
stuff.
It's kind of going in winning.
Our first hearing is in November. So we just filed the amended complaint, and they just immediately filed another motion to dismiss our complaint. So I gotta go in and file another defense and then move immediately for summary judgment, because the court will drag you through the ringers if you're not demanding them to do the things that you need them to do.
Yeah,
Like,
so you
it'll
know how
just
to
go
do. I would be.
on and
I
on.
would be.
They're
I would
known
be.
to do that. Drags.
Oh, yeah.
down.
This is why you have a team, so you don't get stuck by yourself.
But I just got a brand new car.
Yeah,
My
she
first
did. You wanna go
payment
see the
is
car?
next month, so I'm discharging that baby. On my
And you're gonna do
first
this.
one.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I ain't playing. I'm doing everybody.
How
Give me
long
your
is that?
debt.
We're doing my house. We're doing
3
my
months.
car.
Well, 3
Ryan's
months.
gonna
I
give
want to
us
do my
all.
mom's. Well, can we do? And then she can pay you something.
Yeah. I don't even care. Let's just get
we gotta, like,
moving.
you know, I mean,
Right,
I can
right,
help
copy.
too, but I don't, because I can't do mine, because so I
Right,
want to
you
practice
think-
though.
No, you need to
I
do
want-
My
all
old
your
house,
third
too.
party debts
Yeah.
because those are
Yeah, house
you're just
you can.
kicking
I
it
have
in
a
the
house
ass
that
right
I
out,
lost in
girl.
foreclosure
But how do I
that she
do-
was
what am I
It's
supposed
a
to do?
going up
validation
15
of
years
debt.
ago.
It's the same process,
But we had a
different
lien
language.
put on it.
This one
And I also
is
did everything with the
grounded on the
certified
UCC
mails
laws.
and stuff for
The
the receipts
validation
through
of
the
debt is
mail.
grounded on
So
fair
the
debt
course
collection
that we just went
practices
through,
act.
Mary's been teaching
Okay.
us every
So,
single
Every
receipt in the mail
debt
is worth
that
money.
has been passed
All
to a
of it.
third party
Yeah.
and have been discharged.
So we're gonna go back
They
and
got
she's gonna help me
paid
finish what we started,
already.
get a big chunk of
The
money.
third party debt collector is
Credit.
trying to get is
Because there
double
is no
dipping,
money.
is trying
They
to get
took us
another payment out of
House
you.
Joint
So how do
Resolution
I do mine
192
then?
in
'Cause
1933,
I'm
when they
thinking
took
I'm
us
not
off
an
the
owner.
gold standard, they gave
I
us
can't
funny
do
money
one
credit.
satisfaction.
But they were
No.
supposed to tell us how to discharge all the
validation
debt the
of debt,
whole
you don't
time.
need to be an owner.
And nobody's ever
do
discharged the
it.
debt. That's
Okay.
why
You
it's
should have
trillions of
never paid
dollars
a
in
dollar
debt
from the beginning.
because they
Okay.
created
They've never
something
had.
saying we
I'm
could discharge it, but they didn't
This is
teach
kind
us
of
how to
crazy.
discharge it.
While
So
I
who's
figure out
responsible,
how to
us
get
or them,
access
for
to the
failure to
credit?
tell us
Yeah.
how to do it right?
But see,
Right.
I'm
They're
actually
the
trying to
guardian.
repay
That
my
they
other
would be
debt,
held
but they
responsible as
garnish my
crappy
wages.
step
Everyone
parents.
Because
Yeah.
then that's
They
kind
just
of like,
happen.
yeah,
I have a-
just.
They're abusing the
Four
children because they're
payments.
our
Yeah.
trust
This is
funds.
1,600 a month.
When we're the age of maturity,
That they're
we're
taking
supposed to
out
take
of my
control of it,
paycheck.
not the state controlling it until
I'm
the
just
day we die.
pissed. I'm
And
pissed.
keeping
And it
all the
just tells me
surplus. Because they can't
our
take money from the
name
trust, but on the
is-
on your private side, but on the public side, they can dippity
yeah.
do all day long.
But
Which
there is a
what they
process to
did.
get
It's what
you
they
know,
have been
everything
doing
that is being
forever.
taken
Yeah.
out from your bank account.
Especially with the
Everything
banking
that's been
system.
deposited and taken. Like withdrawals and
Well, that's
stuff.
why your credit card. I always thought it was strange. Your debit card. It can be a credit or a debit.
Yeah.
How can one card
Yeah. I
do
never-
two things?
Opposite of each other.
Exactly. But it comes out the
At the
same.
No, it doesn't. On their books, it
On there,
doesn't.
that's why I'm telling you. I'm just like, this is confusing. Like it's
Everything
all,
in banking is
it's all
confusion.
behind the
Sense.
scenes.
It's
Yeah.
it's meant to confuse.
Yeah.
It's meant
But
to kill,
what can
steal,
I
and
research
destroy.
and do for where I'm at? Because if I can't help my mom, because I don't know this process,
First, you need to help you.
but I don't even know where to begin right now.
Start
Yeah.
with your credit report.
So
Pull
print
that.
the credit
Okay, pull my
report.
credit report.
Yours too. Pull the credit report.
Let's pull them all
Okay.
up, and we'll work
Okay.
on it this week before we get
Everything
together
that's on
again.
the credit report, we dispute. Everything. We
Okay.
start the dispute from there.
Okay.
And just play the game. They're never going to answer you. They're never going to dispute it. They can't because they don't,
But then what's going to happen? I'm just asking them to wipe it off my credit?
yeah,
Okay.
by law.
Sounds
because
good.
because
Sounds fine.
in
Yeah.
the
And I
valid
just go get
I've
more
always
credit, do the
hated
same
that
thing.
system.
absolutely. The validation of debt is validating that they're the holder in due course of the debt. Because I'm going to pay you if I'm bound to you by a contract. If I'm bound to you by contract, I'm more than happy to pay you. But if
then
I'm
they
not
send
bound,
it to a third party. You're no
There's
longer
no
bound.
contract.
There's no contract.
so who the hell are you?
So what kind of letter am I going to draft? Are we going to do a 3-step process?
Just like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I wanna go
administrative
through it with you.
process.
Language, that's it.
All
And
right,
what's it
girl.
called?
I
Validation
would
of debt.
too.
Because I could research that.
process.
So just pull my credit card. I'm going to pull validation of debt.
And it's all over the internet. Everybody's
Okay.
doing it now. Validation of debt process.
Okay.
That's what it's called.
I have
all
I
this.
have paperwork already on
One is a
validation of debt. I'll
discharge
send you when I get
because
home.
you're discharging
Four
debt,
papers.
immediate debt, and then the other one is debt that has been passed to a third party. That's the
That's
validation
the
of debt.
validation
I
of
see.
debt.
And
Okay.
nobody has survived me yet. You know who I would sue?
So you've done the validation of debt.
Yeah, that okay, so
I know you've done a lot
My-
of things in the courts.
oh, it was my last car that I had. It was a VW, but I allowed them to take it. I allowed the bank to take it because I couldn't find anybody to fix it for me. So I
Okay.
told them to take one. So that debt went on my credit report. So I took my credit report. I took that
Myra, you
information.
understand me.
I sent out my validation of letter to force them to validate. I didn't even have to do the whole process on my first letter. They sent me a notice saying, sorry, we're going to terminate all collections from this account.
Okay.
on my
Can we
fresh
do
letter.
that?
Hell yeah.
And when I have money, I will pay you because
Yeah,
I want to
seriously.
learn how. I want to number one
Yeah.
just clean up the credit. But even for my son, I went without insurance for 2 months. Okay, 2 months. Didn't pay my insurance, and I called Allstate, emailed them twice to reinstate it. In that period, my son gets into a head-on collision, falls asleep at the wheel, and I already knew I'm not seeing this car again because it was totaled in the front. So I said, so now there's that I have that situation. But you know what? Because I went through chapters, this is about being free from being scared.
Yeah.
This whole thing,
Absolutely.
when I did my chapter 7 and I had FBI, because it's all Department of Justice. Bankruptcy's under DOJ.
Right.
And then you get assigned the bankruptcy trustee. I'm thinking, what
Right.
trust are we? Where is there a trust? I don't have a trust.
Yeah.
We do have a trust. Especially, and it commences when you file bankruptcy. But what's my point? Is so I knew I wasn't going to see the car again because, and guess what? That's my thing. It was 3 weeks. And I was so proud of myself because I'm like, what the heck am I going to do? I have to still go to work. The car is gone. They towed it away to the place, right? And I'm not going to go get it.
Right.
So after 3 weeks, I had time. This is right before my son had to go to jail, right? So I'm just like, oh my gosh, God, what's happening? So I have no car. All the situations are happening, but I finally get a chance to call the bank. And I said, hey, I didn't have insurance on the car. They said, well, you're just surrendering the car. You're doing a voluntary repossession. And they're like, so what we're going to do is we'll need to handle the car, and then they're going to sell it at an auction, and whatever it is, then they'll offset the debt for it. But I was like, it's not that big of a deal. Like all these things. So now I just got to figure out how do I clean up my credit because even when you file Chapter 7, there's creditors right away going
Right after.
here.
Yeah.
Here.
It's crazy, yeah.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
It's criminal, is what it is. It's
The
criminal.
That's
idea
crazy.
that you can file that and still creditors
credit.
right after.
That's where you get a trustee. They discharge it. I have it. One small sheet of paper that says, and they don't even tell you the total amount. They just say discharge. Because you have to submit it at the beginning. But on that paper, it just says, your debt is all discharged. And it's all gone. And right away, there you go. And then I quit my job. I mean, I just had a hard year.
Well, anybody who has enormous numbers like that, shit, I would do the discharge too. That was a sick
And I didn't plan it.
Yeah, well, it was created to do that. To
So
give you a
for
new
my
start.
understanding of these life experiences, I'm all going to add levies, liens, and we have to tell them stop. Like literally, they're overreaching when they do this kind of stuff.
They're taking advantage of humanity is what they're doing, and our right to just be.
Well, it's the right laws. It's hitting them with the right laws. I just found a really good law too.
Which one's
is,
that?
Deceptive, unfair and deceptive practices law. And if you can trigger that law on someone, it's a Class C felony. It's a $10,000 fine, and they get completely discharged from their position. They get fired from their position.
Yay!
And that is the ultimate.
Yeah.
Is not to
Couple
just
people
slap
get
them on the
fired
hand,
that
but
start-
get them out.
Yeah. Or go to jail,
Yeah.
right?
There was another one too. It's securities and commodities fraud. That's the one Bianca went through in the complaint. I was like, what the hell is this? I go read them. It's true though. Everything they're doing to us is securities and commodities fraud, and that charge is a felony charge, and it was a 25-year imprisonment charge. Like if we hit them with a charge, they serve 25 years in jail. I like that idea.
If we pull out my file that's at John's office, it's this big file from Mr. Stone's office, remember back
Oh yeah,
then?
yeah.
So in there, Maury helped me write accusing them of securities fraud, and they just sent back, oh, there's no securities fraud here. And like he didn't really pursue what to do next, but we should have probably done is default them 3 times, saying this is an answer to the
Absolutely.
question. Because Claire Connors, who was the Attorney State General, I don't think she is, I don't know if she is anymore, but I defaulted her on all of my entire family's birth certificates and said, what authority do you have over this? 3 times, no answer, no answer, no answer. And I'm like, none. They have no freaking authority. It's all by presumption. It's all lies. It's all fraud. So if we can get a little...
We need just
all
a
of-
little legal team, because if we can
do.
push them
That's just what I was
to
going to show
just
you.
settle, because that's the goal. Just settle. We don't want to go to court.
Yep.
But if we
Settle
gotta
up,
force
settle up,
you-
settle up.
Gotta force your